I think we're very fortunate to have one of the best local speakers, in my opinion, in Mr. Philip Curtis, to do the talk tonight. His talk's going to be on Sunderland, 1945 to 1955, and I'm sure it's going to be a great talk.
No pressure there. Is the echo okay, or can you hear me all right at the back? Is it fine? Right. Do you want to start the lights, right? Thank you. Well, it's nice to be here and take us all back to having a look around at the age group here. I think baby boomers. So if I get anything wrong, you will know about it, because some of you, I think, lived through these years, or part of these years, or your children in these years. But when you say 1945, it seems a long, long time ago. Yet in your head, it isn't that long ago. So let's start. I thought, what we do at first, I'm a soldier. I've got a day's leave. I'm coming back to my hometown, and it's the E-Day, and we're going to have a look. I'm coming on the train, as you can see, and this is the type of train you get. This is our station, and the surprise that the surprise that you would get is that there's no roof to the station, as you can see. Sunderland was one of the, I think, the second most bombed town in Britain, really. We had bomb sites all over the place, even though we had not been bombed since May 1943. That's when the last bombing took place. But obviously no rebuilding had started. We're going to look at that as we go on. So we've arrived on the train, we get out. That's what it looked like. There's the roof, or lack of it, I should say. And but you can see the adverts have been, so we're all right. We know we've got a big store there. But no, we don't, because it's been destroyed in 1943. But we get up there, we come out. Are we going to come out at the south end of the station? I think we will, really. We'll go out the south end of the station, and you can see that's what it looked like in 1945. It was rebuilt, as I'll show you later on, in 1953. However, I've got to say it looks better than today's, really. But no, we might come out at the north end of the station, because that had a good W.H. Smith's, and the big canopy across there, and of course it has Smiths and Stevensons. And when you get your newsletter, they'll tell you the history of Smiths and Stevensons, the big bakery of the city, and that one of the size of the tower there is phenomenal. So we've got out, we come out into the streets, it's VE Day, you walk around into Fawcett Street, and this is what you see. The crowds are massing there. The crowds are up for it, because the mayor he's had a walk down Fawcett Street, and he's at the microphone, he's going to talk to the people of Sunderland. And it's absolutely sheeting it down. It's been like it's been today, the day. It was the 8th of May, and it rained. It always rains on special days in Sunderland. So it was raining terribly, but the brollies were up, but nobody cared. The schools were on holiday, and they massed to see what was going on. There were celebrations all over town in different ways. Sports at Hendon, police fields were going on. The yachts there was a yacht races going on at the harbour as well. And there it is, outside the town hall. You can just see where the mayor was going to be. They've made an arch so that the mayor had some room to stand at the microphone. And there he is, he's at the chat with the umbrellas. And the mayoress is just to his right. You can see the mayoress there, standing there. Of course, once that had dispersed, you make your way across to Mowbray Park, because in Mowbray Park, the dancing was going on. Never mind the wet and the sludge, we're going to dance. There's not that many men around, but we're going to dance. I haven't looked at this photograph. I just wonder where the music was coming from. I don't know, I wasn't there. It wasn't born in 48. So there must have been a band there of some sort. But look at the rain. It's terrible. And there's a young lad there, dressed as a soldier, I think. So anyway, that was the E-Day. Well, let's just tell you about today. So the next time I come back to the town, I'm going to get demobbed, and I'm going to come and spend a bit more time to look around. And before I got demobbed, I made sure I got my demob suit. Now, you could have there was a choice of two, the both pinstripe, grey or navy blue. So I chose a grey one. There we are, getting it fitted, and that's what it looked like. Quite, it didn't look too bad. Some people still wear them in the town, I understand. That's the demob suit. And before I go around, I think I was a two-dab man. I put a bit of brill cream on my hair as well, and I look real cool and flashy, because the girls will be sweating and swooning when I walk down Fawcett Street. So I'm going to have a look now. I get out the north end of the station again, and I look around. There's no crowds now, so we can wander around. And there we see Manfield's at Mackies Corner, Manfield's boots, and you can just see the Havelock on the right-hand side. we probably know it better as the Gormont. The Gormont, more about the Gormont later, the Gormont Cinema. The trams, there's a plethora of trams in the town. The wires are still through all the streets, the main streets of the town for the trams. And there we go, there's the Havoc on the right, there's Manfield and Son, and next time you round Mackies Corner, next door was the Rediffusion. If you look at the doorway of the Rediffusion, you'll find on it the big M on the floor, which is still there from Mansfield's. So there we go. Let's carry along Fawcett Street. You might remember these. You didn't have to buy a newspaper. You could go in there and read the newspaper. And that was the junior library as well. Across the road is Meng's. Meng's were the French brothers who started in the 1880s in Sunderland and eventually opened up their business in Fawcett Street. Considered by the generation before us, I think, to be the finest restaurant in Sunderland. People had their wedding receptions there, and it's right across the road from the town hall, Meng's. The actual building still exists. If you look above, it's red sandstone, I think, above it. It's sometimes have bushes growing out of it where they don't look after it. Round into Union Street, you can see the damage again to the station. This is interesting because you could go to Durham on the train for one of Nightman's. Can you see that? An excursion to Durham. Fantastic. And round in Fawcett Street, just have a look at what's left of Binstone. Here it is. Now that night in May 1943, when that was completely destroyed, both sides of Fawcett Street, because if you look at the other corner, you can see that's flattened as well. Now this site to be rebuilt in 1953, 52 stock 53, but the other side was not rebuilt in 1962, and of course they made that tunnel underneath that. You could go from one part to the other part. But they were very optimistic because you can see the sign still there, shop at Bins. You weren't going to get very much, but then again, they'd opened up on the corner of Burton Road, became Yates Wine Lodge later. It's still there. They opened the China department there. They moved up into Holmeside at the top, which is a furniture shop today, Thursby's, I think, and they opened a car business there, and also a car business in Union Street. So Bins carried on in a smaller form until the big store was rebuilt. Round into John Street, you can just see the back of the bomb site of Bins across the road of Fawcett Street. That's the county court. Nobody here would have obviously recognised the county court, or haven't ever been there. Round into St Thomas Street, named St Thomas Street because of the church, St Thomas's Church, which was destroyed by the Germans as well. That was a bomb site. And you can just see the entrance there on the right to the Archade, or what was left of the Archade. The Archade was completely destroyed by the Germans. So there's the Archade. You think, oh, I'll pop into the Archade, I'll pop into Palmer's. Well, and there's the bomb site there. You can just see these cars are parked on the site that would eventually become the Continental. So that was there. So the place was in the right mess. And this is from John Street, looking down St Thomas Street now. There's the Archade entrance, but there's no Archade, as you can see. Palmer's still advertising, but Palmer's wasn't. It reopened inside the Archade when it was rebuilt. And this area here remained like that until 1954, when building didn't start until 1955. But it's the site, as I said, of the St Thomas's Church. And next door to it in John Street was the vicarage as well. I love looking at this because I keep looking at this woman's hat, and I'm not sure whether it's a hat or a mark on the photograph. I've decided it is definitely a hat. So keep going around the town, look at the bomb sites, the Victoria Hall, or what was left of it. You might remember the site, it became the Gentlemen's Club. They rebuilt it on their bottom of Town Road. But that was good for youngsters, if you were young, in 1945, in the late 40s, because you had all these bomb sites to play on. And usually your local bomb site was called the Bommy. I want one of the Bommy. My Bommy was Cage Hill, and that area around that site in Montgomery. And you played out usually till your parents called you in, and you didn't bother to hear them, really. So things began to change because of not the destruction, but because of all these bomb sites. Housing had been lost, business has been lost. It was the beginning of rebuilding Sunderland, really. I know we've got a lot of rebuilding going on at the moment, but there was more so in the late 40s, early 50s. These were the first prefabs. They're at Grindon, next to the roundabout on the Broadway.
Subscribe to our channel and we'll let you know when there's a new video to watch. The subscribe button is below the video next to the like, share and comment icons. To watch another video, just click on one of the pictures above the arrows now.